Hello students, welcome to Economics Pedia. So today we are here to discuss a very important aspect from a student's perspective or aspirant's perspective when they attempt for any competitive exams. The topic of today's discussion is how to write a descriptive answer that will help you fetch the highest marks. So this is a topic that many of the aspirants face as a challenge whenever they prepare for any of the competitive exams. So this session is here for all of you that will help you and provide you with the important and smallest of the tips that is required in order to modify your answer writing skills, and that will help you fetch you the highest marks. Now, in one of my previous videos as well, we have discussed how to write an essay for competitive exams. For that, if any one of you is interested, kindly click on the card right over here that is appearing on your screen, and you can get a very effective tips to write the essay for the competitive exams. Now, this descriptive writing of answers are there in more or less of every type of competitive exams which are of top class. Like if we talk about the civil service examination, for the mains part you need to write the answers in descriptive format. If we talk about the Indian Economic Service exams, of course the whole exam is in descriptive pattern. So writing the answer for the exams has been there for a long time now, and that is why this topic has been taken up by Economics Pedia to help you brush your writing skills. Okay, so let's start with the procedure. The basic procedure, I'm going to divide it into three sections. Number one will be the basic part, number two will be the intermediate zone of your preparation, and number three comes the advanced level. So starting with the basic part, that is the minimum requirement that you need to have in order to prepare for the writing skills. Okay, there are some do's and don'ts. Okay, number one among the do's is that always try to understand the question fully. Get your mind clear and then fully understand the question, that is what has been asked in it. Then process your thought of how to write the answer. Don't simply by reading the answer jump into the writing section. No. First take few seconds, analyze it, analyze your thoughts, collect your thoughts together, and then put down your pen to write it. Number two of do's is a very important step, that is do your mental framework very clearly. That is how you are going to write your answer, how you are going to present your answer, what exactly you are going to write it. Everything has to be done mentally first, and that's why this process needs to be done in a quicker fashion. The more quicker you do it, the more the faster you're able to write it and portray it within the time limit. Okay, so mental work is again a very important thing. Under the don'ts, the important thing and the only important thing is that don't overthink yourself and don't overstretch your thinking process. Try to be limited and try to be realistic in your thinking process as well. So these are the few do's and don'ts that you need to remember while preparing for the basic level. Okay, now we have to understand that how to write the answer. In my video on the essay writing also, we have discussed how to write an essay. Just in the similar fashion, you also have to write the answers, right? Now, in the answer writing also, there will be three parts. Number one will be the introductory part, number two will be the main body, and then number three, that's the concluding part. Number one, that is the introductory part. Now, there is a word limit, right? So, use 10% of the word limit in order to write for the introduction. Okay, be very concise. Then comes the main body. Now in this main body, you have to understand and you have to decide on your own that whether you are going to write the answer in some point or in some paragraph format. Now even whenever you are writing the two of it, it doesn't matter until and unless the content you are writing, the matter you are writing is the correct and is related to the subject, to the topic of the question. So this is a very important detailing that you need to take on your decide on your own. Okay, now the third part, that is the concluding part. Here you have to understand to end the answer in a very balanced format. What do I mean by balanced format? That is, you do not want to end it with some negative comment or some negative thought. Always try to end that particular question with a positive note. Or if you can add, better to add it a way forward to it, or you always have to show this thing that you are eager to find a solution to that problem. Okay, that's again a positive side. So concluding has to be done in a positive format only. Now moving to the intermediate zone of preparing for the writing skills. Now for the intermediate part, you need to understand and follow the following rules that I'm going to discuss right now. And it will be very much practical so that you can apply it on your process of answer writing. Number one is the time management. Now we all have a time factor that we need to follow, right? So whenever this time thing is there, in many of the exams, the descriptive writing, whenever the descriptive pattern of examination is there, the average timing we have seen for most of the exams has been 3 hours. Okay, so 3 hours, these are 3 rules that you need to remember. Number one, go with the flow. That means you have to trust yourself wherever you are writing the answer. Whatever you are writing the answer, whatever you are writing, whatever you are including is the correct thing that you are writing. You need to trust yourself. This is number one. Number two, don't exaggerate. Use the simple language that comes to you. Don't use any complex words. Okay, this is number two. Number three is that don't stuck in one particular answer, one particular question. There are many questions. If you are stuck with one question, obviously you are wasting your time at that particular moment. Complete the script, complete the question. If you have time, obviously you will be having time because you need to allocate your time like that. Then, in that excess time, you come back to that question and give it a thought again. But whenever you are writing it, do not interrupt, do not get interrupted by one single question while writing it. Okay, this is the time management. So sticking to the word limit is again a very important point that you need to remember. So the ABC of writing the answer is accuracy, brevity and clarity. You need to follow these 3 words whenever you are writing the answer or whenever you are practicing to write the answer. You always have to use smaller sentences. Don't use compound sentences. Don't use and finish the statement by a colon and then continue with that statement. Don't do this very often because the statements gets longer and it's not very much effective in order to comprise the word limit. Okay? And one more thing under this setting, getting limited to this word limit, is that try to avoid unnecessary judgments onto your thoughts and onto your views, and cite an example if you can and whenever it is necessary. This will help you to get control over the word limit. Okay? Now another important idea where many of the aspirants face is that whether to attempt a question that is unknown to you or leave it. It's a very common phase of dilemma that many of the aspirants go through. Now, when to leave a question. This is very important. If you are thinking and if you know that you can use that amount of time into writing some other question in a much more detailed and in a beautiful manner, then you should do that. Because this excess amount of time that you are going to allocate for this particular question that is unknown to you, it may cost you in some other format as well. So if you are thinking that you can use this excess time in writing extra answer, in writing different answer in a much beautiful way and in a detailed way, and also this time will help you to revise the answers, then you should leave the question. Yes, leave the question. I'm getting very practical because it is not always possible to attempt the question whenever it is completely unknown to you and you are not familiar with it. Now, one more thing that you need to understand one more point that you need to remember whenever you are whenever you are thinking of leaving a question, is that if you write something which is completely unknown and unfamiliar to you, it is going to get the impression of you to the examiner. It might create a negative impression also, which you do not want. So that is why attempting an unknown and unfamiliar question is obviously a risky matter. Apart from this, if you attempt an unfamiliar question, it might be a case that it will lower your self-confidence for the rest of the paper. Okay, so better to leave that question, and if you think that you have the time to come back to it again, do give it an attempt. Now, when to attempt an unknown and unfamiliar question, this is also very important. Now, if you can recall 2 to 3 points related to that particular topic or that particular question, then give it a right. Give it your time to that question. That is 20 to 30% of any answer. If you can recall, do attempt the question. Okay? So this is the 2 times whenever you have to leave a question and attempt a question whenever the question is unfamiliar. Now, we are good to move towards the advanced level of writing the answer practice. So, in this advanced level, we have the first topic, that is how to practice answer writing. 3 words: recall, process, write down your answers. Recall, process, write down your answers, and whenever you are writing down your answers, try to be streamlined in your fashion of thoughts and be time bound in your manner of writing. Okay, because we have just discussed that time management is a very important thing. So these are the few things that you need to remember. Now, whenever you are practicing to write the answer for the first time, you can take the help of a book. Open the book and write your answers on your own. But gradually, you need to close the book and practice it on your own. Practice writing your answers from your memory. So for this answer writing practice, you need to sharpen your memory as well. Okay, the thought process has to be quickly, the process of thinking has to be done in a faster manner. Okay, so better to start with the open book and then you move to the second stage, that is without any help, you are writing the answer on your own based on your remembrance power and your thought process. Okay, now for this competitive exams, if we talk about the Indian Economic Service or Civil Service, or for the any other exams where the descriptive writing pattern is there, it's always better to cite the previous year's paper. Okay, we always have heard that previous exams, previous papers, they play a very important role in order to give you the idea of how to write an answer, and also gives you an idea of how the question will be. A question pattern, you can get the help from this previous year question, right? So that is why this previous year's question paper plays a very important role in your practice of answer writing. Do get a hold of the previous year question for different exams. Okay, now why do we practice this? Why do we have to do this answer writing? Because whenever you pen down yourself in order to write a particular answer of that question, then you feel the gaps that you have left out, the gaps of your preparation and the amount of preparation that is required. So in order to know these gaps, you have to write the answer on your own. You have to practice it. Okay, so that's why writing the answers has been always important whenever you are practicing and preparing yourselves for this type of exams. Now, one of the very important thing is that many of the aspirants face whether to enroll yourself into a test series or not. Now, 2 things I'm going to discuss. Number 1, for those type of students who can afford to have a test series, they must get enrolled into that, because this test series, they help you to keep a tab on your time limit, that is how much you are able to manage the time. this test series give you an idea of that, and also a regular report card on your performance is going to give you an edge about the preparation. That means how much you are preparing, what else you need to prepare, what else you need to include in your preparation. Which this test series we are going to launch very soon. So kindly stay tuned to Economics Pedia for those updates as well. And for those students who cannot go for a test series, for them I am saying is that you can do many things. That means write down your answer. Number one will be writing down your own answer. Get the feedback on that particular answer from your friends, relatives or family. Getting the feedback is very much important, because that will help you to groom yourself on that side of your preparation. And if you have any mentor in your preparation time, then do contact that particular mentor, and regularly, on a regular basis, try to get your answer evaluated by that particular mentor of yours. Okay, so this will also help you in your answer writing practice. And finally, coming to the third and the important part in the advanced section is that how to improve your writing skills. The foremost thing that you need to remember is that use a very lucid way of writing. That means do not use or indulge into the complex words. In my previous session of writing a competitive essay, I have also said that using the simpler words is always helpful, because those complex words, they will sometimes misguide you. If you use simpler words, this give you an edge towards your preparation. What is that? It is that whenever the examiner is taking the copy, or whenever that particular person is checking your answers, as you are using a simpler words, it will be universally understood. It will be universally easy to apply it, and also to understand from an examiner point of view. So that will help you to score in higher marks as well. So that is why number one in lucid writing practice is that to use simpler words. And number two is that you need to understand the type of words that are being given at the starting of the question or in the whole question. Okay, what do I mean by these particular words? That means we always have noticed that there are some words like evaluate, critically evaluate, comment, explain, interpret, etc. So these words, they play a very important role in your answer writing practice as well. In your answers, they has to make a difference. That is how to start an answer, how to end an answer when a question is there with critically define or evaluate critically. Okay, so these words are very much important to understand in your answer writing practice. Stay tuned to Economics Pedia, because we are very soon going to display the whole list of the words that you need to be familiar with, that will help you to increase your writing skills. Okay, so this is the advanced level. So we have discussed in 3 phases: basic, intermediate and advanced level of practicing the answer writing and how to implement it. I hope you will be able to implement all these tips in your own practice, in your ongoing practice of answer writing, and this session is helpful to you. For that, I am expecting that. And if it was, please hit the like button, and if you are new to our channel, do subscribe to our channel, because everything important related to competitive exams, whether it is from the economical background or from the general topics like this, we always cover it. So kindly stay tuned for this to Economics Pedia, and for any type of further query or doubt, you can contact us through our official mail and through our WhatsApp number as well. The number and the mail ID is visible on your screen. You can contact us through that. Thank you very much for watching this. I really hope to see you in the next one.